In today's video, I'll be giving you my top 8 most overrated players in the entire NFL. Now, this is a list. Number 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. This is in order. So let me know what you think. Should they be rearranged? Should somebody else be put in? Let me know by the end of the video. But before we get into it, don't ever forget, thety.gg. That's the website to check out Dubby Energy. That's their products. Right here behind me, I've got almost too much of it, dude. This one is actually empty. It's just the shaker, the little scooper in there. I'm drinking it all. That's one of my favorite flavors, the blue raspberry. This one right here, my favorite flavor. It's called Blue Tropical Punch. Irish Strike is the name of it. Tastes like blue sweet tarts. It's delicious, phenomenal, and gives me the energy to get through the day. Check them out. They give you a great amount of energy, and they're also very cost efficient. They're about $30 a can. So, you know, once you get everything there, you're getting about $1 per drink. You're not paying for $3 at the store or the gas station for a can of energy drink. You got the same amount, if not more, for less. Check them out at w.gg. Use code Shredder for a discount on your order. And let's get to this video. Before we get going in this video, I want to let you know that this video did come from the idea from Wyatt's World, so give him the credit. He did 10 overrated players. I'm doing the top 8, so little different, but mine is going to be ranked like from the lowest or whatever to the highest out of these 8 players at least. But overrated, like Wyatt's World said in his video, overrated does not mean bad. It doesn't mean I hate them. It doesn't mean I dislike them. Now, some of them I don't really care for. That's honest. But it doesn't mean that. It just means that they don't, I think the way Wyatt put it was they don't carry the hype that they're given. They don't do it well. They don't, you know, the level of credit they're given is not supportive of their actual game. Now, some of those are, you know, that sounds kind of weird because some of these guys are really, really great players. And don't get me wrong, they are. It's just they get a little bit too much hype here and there. So let's go ahead and get started with an honorable mention. My honorable mention here is one that I wanted to include, but at the same time I was like, I don't know if he still really would be considered even a little bit overrated, and that's Travis Kelce. There's been a lot of hate for him because of the Taylor Swift stuff, but beyond that, Kelce's just simply not a probably top 2 or 3 tight end in the league anymore. George Kittle is the best tight end in the league. You know, Brock Bowers probably already has a case for being top 3. You know, and Kelce's not far behind, don't get me wrong, but that's just an honorable mention. He's definitely not 1, probably not 2, maybe not 3 when you really look at it. Moving on from that, though, let's go to number 8. The number 8 most overrated player in the NFL is Myles Garrett. Now, this is one of them that, yeah, I don't really care for Myles Garrett. You can see the Steelers stuff over here on the wall. No hiding that. But Myles Garrett is a great player. You cannot deny that. Not even one bit. He's a great player. However, is he the best edge rusher in the NFL? No, he's not. He definitely is not. Since he's been in the league, TJ Watt has basically bested him in everything. Sacks, tackles for loss, turnovers, pass deflection, all these things. Everything that he does, TJ Watt just does better. And this is simply coming off the argument of who is the best edge rusher in the league. Yeah, the stats this year, he had a few more sacks than TJ. He had like 1 more tackle for loss, but he had less turnovers. He had less pass deflections. He had less game-affecting plays this season. So Myles Garrett, a great player. Probably the 3rd best rusher in the league, but he's not number 1. He may not be number 2. That's a whole nother conversation, though. He's just not number 1. Number 7, running back Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams is a good player, not a great player. He just doesn't really do it for me, man. I mean, I'm going to pull up some of his stats really fast. He just is not really one of the most dynamic players in the league, in my opinion. And yeah, he's a good player, but is he a top 5 back? I just don't think so. His cap he's never hit 1,300 yards. He's been very, very close to that. And you know, he's had a couple good touchdown seasons, but in my opinion, you know, in the last 2 years, he's had 26 touchdowns, and that's great. That's great. But in my opinion, Kyren Williams just isn't special. He's not a Saquon. He's not a Jonathan Taylor, Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry. He's not any of those guys. Maybe not even a Jahmyr Gibbs. He's good. He's not great. And a lot of his success, I think, comes from the ability to coach him right that Sean McVay has. And that's more power to him. You know, it's a great thing there. But it's not really Kyren Williams doing it. Moving on. Number 6. Now, this one there's a very specific reason I say this. I love this player. One of my favorite players in the league. But number 6, most overrated player in the league right now is Patrick Surtain II. Patrick Surtain is widely considered the number one corner, and honestly, he probably is. The weird part about this, why he made this list at this spot, a number 6 on this list, is the fact that Broncos fans act like he just locked up everyone in sight. Like that no one caught a single pass on him, including, a little bias here, my favorite receiver in the league right now, George Pickens. One of the best receivers in the league right now. If you don't think so, you're wrong. You're wrong. You are. George Pickens absolutely ate Patrick Surtain's lunch. Now, does that mean that Pat Surtain does not deserve the Defensive Player of the Year? No, he probably did deserve it either way. However, let's just put credit where credit's due and say, George Pickens ate PS2's lunch. Broncos fans will not stop. So number 5 is Bo Nix. Bo Nix had a great rookie season. Don't get me wrong. Phenomenal rookie season. Let's pull him up. Here. Bo Nix, obviously one of the better rookies we've ever seen play in terms of, just what they did in their rookie year, that is. But is he special? Not necessarily. And that's not a bad thing. He had 3,700 yards. Wonderful. He had 29 touchdowns and 12 picks. That's not too bad. But, let's be real. Without Sean Payton, Bo Nix doesn't do that. Quarterbacks especially, it's all about the situation. It's all about the situation. And Bo Nix is a massive benefactor of a situation. Going to Sean Payton. Being Sean Payton's quarterback. He was the, 6th quarterback taken in the top 12 picks of last year's draft. That's crazy. But there's a reason he was number 6. Talent-wise, he's just got a limited ceiling. That's not saying Bo Nix is bad. He probably is good. He's probably a, top 12 to 15 quarterback in the league at this point in time. But that is where that list ends. Period. At number 4, we've got wide receiver Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers, a good player. Not a great player. He is the definition of good, not great. Zay Flowers, he had 1,059 yards this year. Okay, pretty good. He only has 4 touchdowns. This guy just... you can blame it on his offense all you want, but I think that's just a mute point in this point in his career. He's had 9 touchdowns in 2 years. Last year, 850 yards. This year, he had 1,050. Congrats. But, Ravens fans, dude, y'all act like he is crazy. Maybe it's just because I'm a Steelers fan and I see this more so. So maybe somebody else who's a Raiders fan, a Rams fan, a Dolphins fan. Do y'all hear this too? No, let me know if y'all do, because, as a Steelers fan, we hear this all the time that Zay Flowers is so good, when in reality, he'd be wide receiver 3 on this team for sure, and talking about Pittsburgh. There's no doubt about that. So, good player, just not a great player. So let's stop acting like he's a great player. At number 3, we have another wide receiver, this one being Nico Collins. Nico Collins is a good player. Maybe really good, maybe very good. Not great, though. To me, great is closer to elite, and that is, CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown and Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Those are the greater elite players. Nico Collins is a good player. That's it. He's had 2 years of getting over 1,000 yards. Last year, he had 1,300. But the problem with Nico Collins especially is the best ability is availability. This guy last year played 15 games. That's pretty good, But this year he only played 12. The year before that, 2 years ago, he played 10. This guy does not stay healthy. End of story. He hasn't, and honestly, he probably won't. He's only ever hit 8 touchdowns in a season. Yes, he is only, 26? He's not that old, but, Nico Collins just isn't that amazing of a player. He's a good player, not a great player. I'm tired of the hype. I'm tired of hearing about how he's a top 5 receiver in the league when he's not even close. He's probably not top 10 if you really look at it. You know what? Real fast, just for the sake of the argument, let's go pull top 10 receivers who are better than Nico Collins. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, let's see, A.J. Brown, for sure. Those are all locks. Mike Evans, that's probably a lock. Tyreek Hill, had a down year for sure, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt until he proves wrong. Amon-Ra, I'd take him over him. I'm very bad about giving hype to rookies. I don't like it, but Brian Thomas, at least he was healthy. I personally would take George Pickens over him. I just think he's better. I think he's got a much higher ceiling. I'd probably take, let's see. If Jerry Jeudy does what he does next year, no, I'm taking that back already. That may be it. Okay, he may be a back-end top 10, and that's stretching it, man. But unless I'm missing somebody that I'm just looking right over. But Nico Collins, he's good. He's just not great. There's still, if he is 9 or 10, then there's obviously a cutoff at 8 where there's a gap. Okay, that makes sense? So that's just what it is for me on Nico Collins. At the number 2 spot, we've got an edge rusher. This one is Trey Hendrickson. Coming off of back-to-back years of 17.5 sacks, that's pretty good. Don't get me wrong. Trey Hendrickson is a very good edge rusher. Very good. Maybe even great. However, yeah, he led the league in sacks this year. Congratulations. It was a down year, but he led the league. He's had 17 and a half in back-to-back years. That's a lot of sacks. It is. It's a really good numbers in 2 years. However, you cannot be seriously watching football, watching Trey Hendrickson, watching TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, and saying that Trey Hendrickson's better than those guys. You can't, and so many people do. Just because he leads in a stat does not mean he's better. You know, DeAndre Jordan led the league in field goal percentage in the NBA for years, maybe 2 or 3 years straight, it felt like. And he's just not a good player. It's because every dunk was at the rim, you know, or every shot was at the rim. It was a dunk. So that's a really, you know, not perfect comparison, but you kind of get the point. Just because somebody leads something doesn't make them better. In my opinion, I don't know he's top 5. You've definitely ahead of him TJ Watt. This is not in order. TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, Myles Garrett. Those are better than him, no doubt. Can you argue Nick Bosa? Maybe so. He's won something. He's won a Defensive Player of the Year. You can argue that much. Can you argue maybe a Danielle Hunter? Can you argue maybe, I don't know. That may be about the end of the list. Maybe so. But either way, that puts him at 5 or 6. And that's still great. The thing is, not everybody can be the best player in the league. And we have to understand that as an NFL community. Not everybody's going to be a top number 1, number 2, number 3 player. But guess what? Being the 5th best player at your position, 6th best player, that's phenomenal. That's awesome. So let's accept that as good, okay? And the number 1 most overrated player in the NFL right now is none other than Jayden Daniels. End of story. It isn't close. And let me preface this before you get so angry and mad and all this, that, and the third. Jayden Daniels had a great rookie season. If you know me and you know my channel, I do not give rookies hype before they prove themselves. You can't be a top 5 quarterback in the league after 1 year. You can't be. It's just not possible. You maybe worked a top 5 quarterback in that season, but you're not in the league. It's a different thing. Jayden Daniels wasn't statistically a top 5, top 10 quarterback in the league this year. He had 69% completion. That puts him, let's see, approximately, where am I at here? Well, you got to, okay, this isn't going to be correct because you've got to account for, like, people who didn't actually play that much. He's like, you know, he's round 5. That's good, definitely. In terms of yards, he was 16th. That's not that great. That's middle of the pack. In terms of touchdowns, he was 10th. And on a year where passing touchdowns seem to be few and far between. Most players, there's very few that got over 35, and 35 is usually a solid number. Interceptions, he had a good year in terms of interceptions for sure. But he was still 9, almost at double digits. Not bad. He was probably about, you know, just under middle of the pack in that, on the better side of that. But he had a good year. Yeah, he's got some rushing. Let's go ahead and look at what his rushing numbers were just because I don't have them on the top of my head. He's not a bad player. Like, this is one of those definition. Like, don't take this as bad because he's not bad. How many did he even have, man? I don't even know. Let me check this out. Jayden Daniels had 891 rushing yards. That's awesome. And what, 6 touchdowns? That's right. That's wonderful. That's a great rookie season. It might be the best rookie quarterback season ever. Might be. Might be. Not for sure. Might be. But like so many people, it is a endless list of people counting Jayden Daniels as a top 5 quarterback in the league right now. No. He's just not. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar. I'm blanking now, of course, but let me just pull up some other things. Those guys, no doubt, at this point in time, he hasn't proved that he's better than, and y'all are going to hate me for this one, Matthew Stafford. Let's put him in there. Let's put up Jalen Hurts, who's won a Super Bowl. Let's put up, Baker Mayfield, who's been a legitimate starting quarterback for year after year after year. Jared Goff. 8, Aaron Rodgers, if you want to put him. Maybe he had a rough year last year. He was better than you think he was. My point is, you can't be top 5, 10, maybe even top 10 in the league, especially at the quarterback position, when you've played 1 year. We've seen how many rookie quarterbacks come in and have a great first year and then never do anything ever again. Another Commanders quarterback, RG3, did the same thing. How do we know he won't do it? But we're going to hype him up. We're going to put, and here's the biggest part about this. We hype these players up, these quarterbacks especially. And then, like CJ Stroud last year, I talked to you about this, and now everybody thinks he sucks when he had a fine year. It just, by hyping him up, put these massive expectations on top of CJ Stroud. on top of Jaden Daniels. And then the second year, they have a sophomore slump, which is incredibly common. It happens all the time. And then you get upset when he's bad. Bad. When he's not bad, but he didn't do as good as you thought he would because you thought he was going to be a top 5 quarterback because you put those expectations on him and he's not yet. Let him develop into it. Give him a chance to develop it. Let them become it before you crown them. That's all I'm asking. Anyways, that'll do it for this video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Did I miss somebody? Is there another player who is just far too overrated? Let me know. I'll be looking out in your comments. I'd love to see who you think. Either way, make sure you check out Dubby. Check out my merch in the description, and I will see y'all in the next one.